The biggest key to the whole event is just how much, I don't say power because that's really a bad word, I think. The power of networking.
You'll see the video of my first swing at Spanish Bay, one of the most illustrious courses in the world.
I've been in the game for 9 years now, and I went out to the community and I said, hey, I want to get an owners club. I don't have the funds right now. Will somebody lend me the money?
Welcome everyone to the Investor Deli Podcast, where we make the information the star. And today we got the star, the biggest of all stars, Denver's own Jose Cortez.
Woo-woo!
My boy has an intro in his videos when you introduce as a guest. So we just made something up. Jose, what's up, brother?
What's going on, my man?
Appreciate you for coming on. I just want to say a special thanks to Jose. Jose is my best bud in the community that we're both in. And this is my 40th episode. And I wanted
40.
And I wanted to have my boy on to commemorate that moment in time and to share this experience with him, as he's been motivational to me, and I believe and like vice versa. So, like I said, thank you, Jose, for sharing that moment with me.
Oh, thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So we belong to the most exclusive community in real estate, I believe, which is Owners Club. Yep. And we're just coming back from our 2025 first retreat in Monterey, California, right? Jose, can you tell the people about your experience? So we're doing a little recap, kind of catch people up who are not part of the community and may have a little FOMO or want to know what's going on. We're here to impart what happened over the weekend. Kick it off, Jose.
Yeah, well, first time it was my first time to Monterey. And thinking that it was summer in California, I expected it to be, sunshine and, shorts and flip-flop weather. And it was completely opposite.
Tell them how you came off the plane.
Oh, yeah. Flip-flops and shorts, boy. That's how you do it. I mean, it was at 50 degrees. It was a wet cold. It was tolerable, but, I thought it'd be a lot warmer than it was. So there's the beginning of the recap. We got there a couple of days before the official event. Most of the big players and the people that are actually taking action are usually there before the event happens. So that's the best time to go. So that way you can start building those stronger relationships with people. So you can add to your toolbox and I don't say collect, but have more resources for you to do deals. And we just hit it right, hit the ground running. As soon as we got to the hotel, started meeting people, started meeting old people, new people, collecting people's information so that we can follow up afterwards. Learned, some tools, social media tools to improve our branding, for lack of better terms. But I think the biggest key to the whole event is just how much, I don't say power because that's really a bad word, I think. But I will say power. The power of networking in such a community that if you can't get work done in that room, then you're not trying. You know what I mean? It's just so many people doing so many different things that can bring value to yourself or bring value to your business and then bring value to others. I can't tell you how many times I paired somebody up with somebody else that I knew that was doing something that they were doing, to help their business out and they're like, what do you want for this? I'm like, nothing. I'm helping you out. Because you're going to help me down the road, you just don't know it yet,
Exactly.
So
exactly. That's so true, right? So I think the cheat code, because we're OGs in the community, so we have our year's perspective. So absolutely getting there a couple days early is a cheat code. Really, you get literally get a head start in communicating with folks out there where you have a little more time in that setting because our criteria is not out yet. Like so our daily schedule is not out. So it's literally free time to really hone in on these relationships that like Jose said, they might not be for you per se, but now you know something that can help someone else. And that is definitely an advantage because I was watching Jose running around the room, connecting people to other people. So I already knew what he was doing, so, and those are because obviously we have your perspective and those relationships that you work in the room that you're able to do that for people, like he said, and you never know when that comes back around your way to be able to, to receive some of those blessings as well, right?
Absolutely. Because, here's the thing. People appreciate that. I had one person say, people always talk about they help others, but nobody ever really does it. You actually did it. I said, yeah, because I come from a place of serving people, and whether it be from you or somebody else, that positivity that I put out there always comes back to me tenfold. And I can't tell you how many times I've helped somebody, and then it's like, hey, Jose, somebody told me they're doing this. I know you're doing that. Here, let me send them your way. Happens all the time.
No, that's true. So I'm from New York, and Jose's from New York as well. Not the real New York, but somewhere from New York.
Hey, upstate's upstate, man. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm mad at you. and me and Jose connected. Just a little backstory. We were taking our photo shoot in last year's Owners Club, and he was already at a table. So when I came out the photo shoot room, there was a table right in front of us, and I was me and Joe Hernandez. Shout out to Joe, and Jose was sitting there with a couple members, and they already took their photos. And when you get around people, this is the space that you should feel super comfortable just to say hello to people, right? Because everyone's here for the same intention. So we communicated, we started, talking. He said, where you from? I think, he said he's Puerto Rican, from New York. So I was like, oh my God, that's my guy. And he got a little twang to where he speaks. So I was like, okay, Puerto Rican cowboy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. And then he rolled up his sleeve, and he had a big old Puerto Rican tattoo of a character. I was like, oh man, this guy.
Let me show you all in that.
Yeah. So when he showed that sucker off, I say he's a real Puerto Rican, and we were instant boys from then on. But these are the relationships that happen in these rooms, right? You'll meet someone that you never knew before, and all of a sudden you're friends for life, right? So those are the awesome opportunities that are allowed in these rooms that filter out so many people, so many other people, because now you're in the room because you want to be here, right? You want to make a difference, and you want to grow. So you're to make the decision for that, right? So Jose, having that year's perspective, going back, can you let's recap kind of the first day and how. Actually, let's go back, because like I said, we get there a couple days early because we kind of figure out the cheat code. So I was there for a day with Pace. We were golfing, and we hacked the links at Spanish Bay. We just totally hacked. I'll be putting some more footage on my IG post, and maybe I'll put a clip here of my video on my first swing off the tee. Matter of fact, I'll do that when I'll show. You'll see the video of my first swing at Spanish Bay, one of the most illustrious courses in the world. And like I said, it was a hack job, but I loved every moment of it. It was an awesome experience that you cannot relive these, right? How many times do you get the opportunity to do these things, right? And being in this community, I've been able to travel like I haven't literally traveled before. Literally, like we travel now every quarter. So, and we go to different places, very interesting places that, again, just sharing the scenery plus the family, our peers, our friends. It's just unforgettable moments, to be honest with you. But yeah, Jose, can you share how, because Jose didn't golf, I did. Can you tell us what were you doing in when that time that was off, and then also leading into that first day, right? How was that for you as well?
So, somebody left me behind to be at the hotel just twiddling my thumbs all day. But no, like I said, it's all about networking. So I just kind of strengthened some relationships that I had already established from year one being an Owners Club. And then we mentioned about social media. If you can see in my background, I have a podcast, and I took advantage of this situation, and I decided to record 2 podcast episodes while I was there. And then just trying to get to meet some of the new people. Went to dinner with some folks. People got there at different times of the day. So you went to breakfast with one group, then went to early dinner with another group, and then we went with a late dinner with another group. So I was at 3 restaurants like within the last 3 or 4 hours, all talking about real estate. Got a little rowdy to the point where we were almost thrown out. So that was fun.
Why were you almost thrown out?
Because they said we were being loud. They said it was a fine dining establishment, and then plus anyone
in particular was loud?
Yeah, me. I'm the one with the, I get passionate when I talk about this. So it's like, I'm cool. I admitted acting like, shh, gotta be quiet. Shh. I'm sorry, I'm being too loud. But I think they were annoyed with us at the beginning because first we started off with 6. Then we were like, oh, it's going to be 8. Then we said it was going to be 10. And then a couple of people like fell off and like, nope, it's going to be 6 again. Nope, it's 7. And then it was 7. And then as time went on, people started walking in. And they were like, no, brother, we got it. We're going to go with a friend. So we were sitting at a table 7 with 8 people. They didn't like the fact that we were overseating the table. Some people were just sitting there just having a drink. So needless to say, we survived. We didn't get kicked out, but we left shortly after.
And this is something else that happens. Like we go to these towns, right, in these places, and we literally take over the whole town. It always happens. That it came to a point that I believe Pace that said that there was like 27 or 28 notary signings or closings at our location. Ain't that insane?
Yeah. And the notary said that was the most they did that in one day. They normally do that in 6 months. So
like, again, it's the imprint that we leave in these places that, they'll talk about us forever after we leave. Yo, there was this group that came in and man, they shook up the town. And
supposedly this is a time of town where most of the locals kind of like stay inside in the house. And when we register, we always get some kind of bling, right? So we get a shirt, we get a sweater of some sort. And most of the members in our the owners club, they'll put that stuff on right away and they wear it like the whole time we're there. So this year it was a green sweater, hoodie, and everywhere you look, you saw a sea of green. People walking, they're like, "What in the heck happened?" Like they said, we just took over the town. People like, "What are you guys? Who are you guys? Why are you like? What are you here? What are you guys about?" Because I mean, they get conferences all the time, but not like ours, right? Not everybody like dressed the same or looking the same or whatever. So there you got looks everywhere you went. So
yeah,
that was
it gets out of control. It gets out of control. Like the people in the elevators, like, yo, who are you? What's going on here? And and in the elevator, I had one couple. I said, this is a real estate family community. And I said, would you care to join? So I was trying to push my affiliate for people, why not now, right? Look, this is something that might interest you out. So I was already being opportunistic and hey, it might be for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us about the first day. How was it? What were your expectations leading up to the day, the official days?
The day was good, and we'd have basically 2 sessions a day with a breakfast and lunch provided. The first day, if I remember correctly, because it all blurs together, I believe we had Marcus Lemonis as our speaker, which is awesome. I mean, he just really puts things in perspective for you, gets your mindset. He sets the stage, tells you what's that's okay to feel this way or feel that way, and to allow people to be vulnerable in the room, and then to like basically lean on each other because you don't know what the other person's feeling or going through. A lot of people have walls and masks up, and when we close the doors and nobody's around, you would be surprised how many people are willing to share. I hate to say they're demons, but they're demons, and people realize just how much of a family we really are, right? We give each other hugs. We're there for people. We bring them, tissues if they need them, right? Yeah. So it's a place where it's a true family because people truly care for you, and it's just like no place on earth, honestly. Because I've been in multiple mentorships or even clubs for that matter, and nothing compares to that at all.
Yeah, he sets that room. He sets the temperature in the room from the beginning, and he leads us in a direction that you feel comfortable in opening up. And I think that's kind of where people start really honing into each other in that way. And I think that's where we all grow as a group, that intimacy. Yeah. For me, that's kind of just telling back to last year to this year. I think that's kind of we really start kind of becoming one, let's say, in that space, because now you're sharing, like you said, your inner, lack of a better word, demons or struggles or holdups, whatever you're going through, and those are the moments that you get to experience, and then them hankies are coming out.
Yep.
right? So, and I believe that's when we really start connecting, and that's kind of what separates us from other groups. I think that intimacy, right? Then that drives to the rest of the day and also the rest of the sessions.
Agreed. Totally agree. Like you said, they all kind of blur together
They do.
because it was just, emotional high for 3 days straight. So, we had Jamil sharing his way of meditation, which a lot of people kind of really got into. And
Touch base on that. What was that about? Can you expound on that a little bit as well? That was
it was hard to talk about that one because, I don't know a lot about meditation. I don't do it myself, but I guess there's a certain frequency, certain kind of breathing that if you do it a certain way and you really just kind of dig deep and pull stuff that you've been trying to suppress for a long time, kind of it's like a refreshing
it's
feeling.
very mystic, right? It feels very mystic in that way that he said again, is setting the room with intention. He plays a certain type of sound, I'll call it, in certain type of hertz, right, to get you in this place. And then there's some intense breath work that goes on. It's it was I believe 3 sessions of the breath work, and I didn't feel really comfortable on the first 2 sessions where I was breathing out. I was like, how am I passing out? Until he mentioned something, and I kind of just focused. And the last one, I felt comfortable. Maybe it was a breakthrough, and I was able to kind of, I guess, get comfortable in that space because, it's a process, let's say.
Well, I will say this: you got to be in shape. I felt like those breathings were. I mean, after that second cycle, I was like, "Is this the last one?" Because this is getting tough to do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then at the end, remember, so it's a long. Every session is a breathwork session, and then the last part is like holding your breath, right? And until that moment that he says, exhale. And in the first 2 sessions, I couldn't hold my breath that long. I was like, oh, I can't. And then the third one, I was able to kind of get at that rhythm already. So it took me a minute, but it was, if you open yourself up for these experiences, right? If you're open-minded, I believe that's the way to go into these things, and then have the experience, right? Experience what it does for you. And that was awesome. I love it.
And then I think that same day we learned about Pace GPT. It's AI that we're working on as a collective to help other investors answer questions with Pace's knowledge, right? His experience, and then we as Owner Club are going to be able to contribute to that knowledge by inputting what we know and what we're doing to help others as well. So we start becoming resources for those that are in the community and who actually end up using that tool.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like you mentioned, when you're there, I mentioned the days, but it really just melds into one, right? You really can lose that. So reflecting on that, you're absolutely right. It just melds all together. And the third, let's say our last session, I think that was where the crescendo was, right? Where it kind of build up to what kind of the state of Owners Club, what we're looking to do next. And, that was kind of vision casting and forecasting what's going on in the near future. Like we have a new listing company called Creative Listings that will be coming out soon, as well as Pace GPT. That's Pace cloning himself with all the data and information that he's given to the communities over his last 5-7 years that he's been super honed in on being active on social, putting all that information, literally just punching like a GPT, and you ask any real estate related question, and it's gonna pop up, just gonna drive you to information, right? So that is super dope, right? Literally real-time information with real-time use cases that may be able to assist you in problem solving something that you're literally going on now. You'd be like, how do I figure this out? Ask Pace.
Yep, absolutely. And then we had the privilege of having Tim Story talk to us. That was the bomb. You can't even put into words what he does. So love the man. He is just the only one that can do what he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's amazing. I call him like Mariano. The Yankees were in their heyday, and Mariano used to come in and shut down the game. Like, this game was over.
Yeah.
And when he comes on that stage, game, set, match. It just he lights that room up. He's so interactive, and his mannerisms, his way, his pace. He has a tone about himself that he carries with. For me, it's very rhythmic, and it sounds like a sound. For me, it's like music. He's just so hip, and he got a little wrestling in him. Interacting with the crowd and all that.
Yeah,
he is the dopest. I was so happy that they closed out the day with him, because now that propels you kind of back in the hallways, and it re-energizes you into more of the networking aspect. And it's just an amazing. I listen. They can close with Tim Story all day, every day.
I'll take that. And twice on Sunday, right?
Bro, he was awesome. I got to kick it with him in the hallways. That's something you can do as well, because he's part of Owners Club, and he'll be in them hallways, and you can connect with him, kicking him, take pictures, and you'll have your moment with him, and he'll remember you. Again, he's part of the community. He's also in a place of learning, right? Because he's like, hey, I can learn from you guys as well. You're in this space of business, maybe opportunities can foster in these hallways as well. Again, who knows? Somebody might partner with Tim in deals. That's why he's here as well, right? He's literally part of the community.
Yes. It's amazing the people that you get exposed to being a part of this community. You know what I mean? It's like, if I wasn't in this room, I would never even be close proximity to any of these people. Not exposure, not, hey, can I talk to you? Nothing like that. So, they always say you need to put yourself in the rooms that you think you should be in to help elevate your business. And I guess that's why you and I both have done this, 2 years in a row now. OGOCs,
yay,
the founders. So
that's special. That means something, right? Because this was kind of Pace's idea. I'm sure he had it for a while. I want to literally create my own community instead of a mastermind style that he kind of had previously. But it's kind of just hit and move, stick and move, and you have it for a couple of days, and it's kind of over, right? It's not real community building per se, but this is, and like I said, for me, it's an honor to be a member of the OGs, right? Literally the first iteration of this family. And it's a sense of pride for me, and I know it's for you, because we're kind of the tone setters. We're literally, they building on our foundation, right? The groups that come on after us. So, it is important for us to lead their way as well, and kind of be able, and hopefully that they're improve over what we did as well, because we would only want them to elevate as well. So it's always just more elevation. Constant elevation causes expansion. That's an old Rakim lyric for who rap is. But yeah, I truly believe that, and I was imparting that wisdom on the newer OCs. My hope and wish is for you guys to literally be better than us, because that sets the tone that hopefully you guys in a year they'll be better than you, and that's when the real community starts moving up. That you're going to be able to see the fruits of our labors over a couple of years, because obviously this is semi-new with this community space, but you can see the growth, and it's your purpose in these rooms that you have to kind of figure out what is that you want to extract from, and what is it you want to give. And can you expound on that part, the networking part, and how do you extract from people, like follow-ups and stuff like that you can really hone in on relationship building that can turn into future deals as well?
Yeah, so follow-up is probably something I need to work on myself. But I mean, one of the things that we do in our community is we use a app called, majority of us, I will say, use an app called Bling, BLINQ. It is a digital business card. That way we can capture each other's phone numbers, email addresses. Typically has some notes in there that you can take on what the person's involved in doing, whether they're doing RV parks, mobile home parks, multifamily, co-living, buying land, buying businesses. So that way, when you have opportunities, you know how to refer things to them or maybe partner with them. I went this year with the intention, I was kind of all over the place last year of what I wanted to do. This year, I'm focusing on being a lender. So I went there with intention, which is the first time I think I've ever done that, coming to one of these events, looking for people that either needed money or had money to lend. I've been in the game for, 9 years now, and there hasn't been one transaction, one deal I've been a part of where money wasn't either needed or wanted. So if you can find a way to solve people's money problems, you become everybody's best friend. And so that's basically what I spend the time doing, is find those people that either needed money or wanted money, see if I can put those two things together, see if I can, what we call, wedge ourselves in there, help the lender make some money. I get a little bit of equity share, and then the borrower gets to close the deal. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm focusing with you and we're partnering up doing DSCR loans. So we could add that little extra bit to our tool belt to help people close more deals.
No, that's very important. And you highlighted something very important, which was intention. And you might not figure out the first iteration because a lot of the first year can be honeymoonish, right? Shiny object, it's just everything's kind of new. And it's, again, that honeymoon stage. But as you hone in your skill sets, after a while, you tell yourself what I really want to get out of this and what my intentions are. And you start sharpening your sword somewhat. So that was a perfect segue, because now we can literally hop on and speak about to literally what is Jose doing and what's literally Jose up to these days. And he just got into, me and Jose have partnered up in the lending space as well. So we'll be able to service some loans. So you can communicate with us on that. We'll leave our social media handles after we finish the conversation, and you can reach out to us on that. But Jose's been had a full year. Can you expound exactly how your year has gone in regards to your business? And let's talk about that.
So I was involved in real estate prior to coming to the community, and everything was outside of my state. So last year I kind of, I don't want to say had to come into Jesus, but I liquidated all my properties and got rid of some debt I got in real estate. As you can see, good, bad, and ugly about real estate. For me, I had 3 projects that went bad at the same time. Bad contractor. We won't go into that right now, but that kind of put me back a little bit as far as finances wise and trying to get my footing. So I spent most of last year recuperating from those 3 bad projects and strengthening relationships. You'll find that people don't lend to deals, they lend to the person. And yes. I realized that a lot of people didn't know me. I hadn't built that trust up yet. So I spent like 6 months of last year just building that trust, that rapport with people. So when I come to them and say, hey, look, I have this opportunity, will you lend on my deal? Or, hey, I have this opportunity, can we partner and then let somebody else borrow the money? That they'd be more willing to partner and work with me, because again, they weren't partnering with the deal or the opportunity, they're dealing with me. And if they don't have that trust, then they're going to say no, or they may be very apprehensive of doing so. So I recognized that early on, especially from the training that we got last year. So I took that, as we said before, with intention to kind of not necessarily acquire properties that first year, but to build and strengthen relationships. So now that I'm ready to do that, and it's coming to fruition now, through Owners Club, I have a partner that I'm acquiring a single family home in Mansfield, Texas, that we're going to close next month. Through the community, I had another opportunity to partner with somebody just bringing my experience. They were bringing the deal and the money. I was bringing the experience and the contractor. Right now, I'm working on a 16-unit property in Colorado Springs, negotiating price. All that came from tools and the opportunities that came from being in this community. Because before this community, I was trying to do everything like everybody else. I'm putting 25, 30% down, and then trying to find a way to finance it or raise the money to do it. Now, knowing creative solutions, if everything goes right, this 16 unit, I'll come out with 0 out of pocket. I'll have to raise some money, but it won't be none of mine, and be able to acquire the property solely owned by me in 5 years.
That's awesome. Awesome work. Let's expound something on that, on the reach, right? To get yourself out there, and how impactful has been that name over your head, which is Jose's Good, Bad, and Ugly About Real Estate, which is a podcast. So you guys can follow it. Like I said, I'll put in the show notes. And Jose, can you describe what has that meant for you, and in regards to outreach and connecting with people as well, right?
Sure. So I'll give credit where credit's due. You know, like Mando said, we met last year at the spring retreat in Scottsdale, and we went to Boston. We were kind of
hold on 1 second. We met in Scottsdale, and then we went to the Wrigley Mansion. And let's talk about the Wrigley, and then we could carry on because
that has nothing to do with the podcast. Let's go there. We can do that.
Because these are the backstories. This is how you build relationships and friendships. This is what matters, literally.
Sure. So you want me to tell a story? Or you want to tell it from your
perspective? Push you.
So when we go to these events, we are given an agenda ahead of time. And they usually try to set you up for success. I chose not to read. And one of the things that they asked us to do is bring some, I won't say black tie affair, but dressy attire, because we were going to a very fine dining place for dinner.
Wrigley Mansion in Scottsdale, yes.
And yours truly only brought, again, going to Arizona during the warm time, shorts, sneakers, and flip-flops. I didn't think I even had a collared shirt. And so because of that requirement, I was like, I can't go because they're not going to let me on the bus dress like a bum, right? So, man, they realized I wasn't around. I was like, yo, dude, where you at? And I'm like, I'm in my room. I was like, what do you mean you're in your room? Let's go. They're loading the buses. And I was like, I can't go. I was like, what do you mean you can't go? I said, I don't got the clothes. I'm dressed like this. He's like, shh, just come on. So I was like, fuck it. What are they going to do? Just tell me, you can't go? I already knew that. So I just walked up to the bus, dressed like a bum, compared to everybody else who's dressed to the nines. And
I had a suit.
I
had a suit on.
Yeah. And, I hung out with everybody. Still made connections, had dinner with everybody. Nobody gave me crap about not being dressed up. And we had a great time.
We did have a great time. And if I have a picture, I'm going to have it posted here as well. I hope I have a picture. And I hope you have a picture of that. We're taking pictures with people that night. I think people will get a laugh for that. I think those little things are so important, bro. Just kind of how you encourage each other. I was like, yo, get out of here. Get over here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I didn't do that, and he would have stood in his room and he wouldn't have had that experience, right? Literally, it was just a push. Don't worry about that, man. Like he said, the worst they can say is no. You already know that in your head, right? So why not try it? So it was an awesome experience. I just needed to talk about that. I think it's important when building relationships with people. Now let's kind of go back to the essence.
I got to highlight one thing.
Oh, let's do it.
Audience, right?
I'm here for it. I
told you we met. So that was like probably the second day. We didn't know each other like that. It was like 48 hours maybe that we had known each other. And he's like, nah, man, you're coming. So that's what we talk about, connecting with people and like getting to know people, and we call it family, because even in that short period of time, he's like, nah, I'm not letting you stay behind. So when we talk about family and having each other's backs, that's what we're talking about in this community. Is don't matter if you know each other for like an hour. If you family, you family, and we're gonna get you, no matter what. So,
yeah.
But now back to the other conversation. We had Boston, and so in Scottsdale they said do a podcast. So I was like, I ain't doing no podcast. And in Boston, I was like, you know what? This is the second time it's brought up. I got to do this. So I'm thinking, and then what happened? I needed another push. It's like, yo, I need to do this. It's like, all right, stop talking about it, just do it. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I was like, just do it. So fine. Friday, you and I, boom. So this man right here was my first episode on my podcast. And that was back in November of last year. And now I'm up to 66 published. And I'm already got 73 recorded. With Jerry Norton as one of my guests. I'm about to have Jamil Damji, which and realizing those names are not really as common as I thought they would be in the real estate world. And I just invited guests, people just like you and me who are investing to tell their story. And I get to meet a lot of different people from all different walks of life, different ways people are investing, how I can bring value to them. I get to know them on a more personal level because, this is, to me, personal, one-on-one type of conversations. And by doing this, not only do I get to know that person, but a little bit of credibility in myself, right? And people appreciate the value that I bring back to them. So it goes back to that networking, right? So this is a networking tool as well as credibility and branding. And by doing my podcast, as you do, people will say, "Oh, wow, thanks for doing that for me. Let me know what I can do for you." I'm like, "You're doing it. Just let everybody know that I had you on the podcast, bring people to the channel, and let's see how we can do business together." And that's all we do.
No, that's so dope. Again, I am the pusher. I am the guy who kind of motivates. That's just me. I take the bull by the horns. This is who I am. And sometimes, someone just needs that. Literally, that's all it is. They need just a little push, right? They're there, whatever it is. They just got to get that last portion out their head. Literally a push into the pool. Literally, what I call it, a little cannonball. They want a cannonball, but they don't know. So just a little egging them on to pushing them on. And once you do that little push, they have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. Literally, that's what happens, right? So it's the trick bag in your head, and I'm sure that's done ton for your exposure to, let's say, your local meetups and stuff like that. I'm sure now you're the local rock star because of this. And it's like a lead magnet. It's like honey, right? How does that help you in connecting with people and edifying, and and kind of people can see, hey, this is me. This is what I do.
Well, last year I was struggling just trying to get lead generation and trying to find good leads or trying to find deals to invest on this year. Now with the podcast and whatchamacallit, with people that are going to the meetups that I go to, they're all about hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you partner with me on that? So I went from like zero people bringing inbound leads to now I'm getting a handful each. I won't say each week, but let's say each month from outside people bringing me opportunities to either invest with them or just deal that they have.
Yeah.
The credibility from the podcast definitely has people wanting my opinion on stuff because they think that I have all the answers. And I try to explain to them, I'm no different than you. I just, I'm trying to make myself better just like you are. So, but I'm here to help, and I help people when I can.
Awesome. I want to touch on two things before we get you out of here. Obviously, there was a lead up to you before you joined Owners Club, right? You just didn't wake up and join Owners Club, and I'd like to touch upon that and tell you what has been the impact of joining Sub 2. Just touch a little bit on that, and then kind of touch base on the lending, because you're a Gator as well, and then touch on that on the tail end.
Okay. Well, Sub 2, I joined back in September 2022. I've been investing in single family homes since 2016 actively. And I didn't know what Sub 2 was. I mean, I seen Pace on YouTube channels, and I said, I like this guy. He's a no bullshit type of guy. This is a guy that I think I can relate to. So I got into the community, seeing everybody doing all this stuff. No money out of pocket or a little bit of money down. I'm like, this is the tool that I've been looking for. A guy like me, no money or very little money because I'm supporting my family and working my W-2. So I was like, okay. So I did like I do always. I dove into the education. I understood the concepts, and then trying to apply those concepts. And then I think it was November 2022, Gator opened up again. Some people don't realize that Gator was closed for a whole year. He started it up, got some people in, closed it for a year. And then says, I'm only going to open it up for a week. And I was like, oh, crap, I'm not going to miss this opportunity again. And he never closed it. It's been open ever since. So he got me, right? But and I didn't do very much with Gator for like the first year that I was in. Like I said, I had some deals that were going bad. I really kind of was in a bad way with real estate, meaning that I wasn't sure if this was something I wanted to do. And then last year, April of last year, we had Squat Up Summit. And I'm like, I'm going to use this to re-energize my battery. I'm going to use it as a springboard.
Me too.
And I got re-energized there. I mean, we had the hotel staff like, who are you people? Right.
Again.
We have people in the hallways till 3 o'clock in the morning, and they have conventions all the time, and that never happens.
Ever.
So get there, and then we have the opportunity for Owners Club. And this is where, like, technically my first sub-2 deal ever happened. We had the opportunity to join Owners Club. It was a $5K entry fee just to hold your spot. And I went out to the community, and I said, hey, I want to get an Owners Club. I don't have the funds right now. Will somebody lend me the money?
Wow.
A perfect stranger goes, let's talk.
That's crazy.
Just a conversation, just talk, right? So I said, fine. So we went out in the hall. I had about a 15-minute conversation. If you haven't figured this out, maybe not. I'm a 22-year retired Air Force vet. He happened to be an active duty captain in the Marines. And that wasn't meant to be. I don't know what was. But after talking about it, he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we went to the sign up booth. We signed up. I got it. He paid with his credit card, and I borrowed $8K from him and paid him $10K back in like 2 weeks.
That's incredible. Listen, again, that's the passion to get something done. Literally, like, how do I get in this room? Yo, that's super dope. I love that. Again, that's what you do when you really want something, man. Damn, I love that. I kind of understood. You kind of talk about it, but now it hits different now knowing about it.
Yeah,
super dope. Again, right, it's awesome to be in these communities. And me and Jose have also then forced in this relationship and getting to know each other. We've also partnered on something. Can you kind of run into tell the people what are we doing as well to be able to service our investor community?
Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, the biggest thing that people need is money. You can't close a deal without money. And me and Mando was like, look, we're here to serve people. We want to make sure that we can help people close deals and maybe somehow wedge ourselves into deals as well. That's not really what we're doing this for. It's more for others more than it is for us, but it's also a stream of income. We're trying to do active income. So we're both doing DSCR loans, that's debt service cover ratio loans. Basically what that means is the income that you're earning from your investment should cover at least the mortgage, which is a 1.0 rating or ratio. Ideally, you want 1.25. That means that the income that you have coming in not only covers your mortgage, but a little bit extra, quote unquote, cash flow. And we have products that helps everybody, people that are don't have W-2s, people that have bad credit. I won't say bad credit, maybe low credit. We'll call it that, right? And it's considered bad credit. We have partnered with about 22 different lenders to find the right solution for people, and we try to make it easy. So that's our deal. We're trying to help investors close more deals through relationships with direct lenders to help you, the investor, be able to finance that property.
Absolutely. And if you're an Owners Club member, there is a built-in discount for you if you want to get with us, just to be able to provide our service and just to give back as well, just for being a part of the community. So you guys are super interested in that. Again, just contact me or Jose, and we'll be happy to service you as well. And we're in here to serve you as the customer and make sure that you have the greatest experience, because everyone can run numbers and get you quotes and all that. I believe at the end of the day is the customer experience, the honesty, the forthrightness to be able to tell somebody, hey, this is what you need, this is what's going on, just to be super clear, to be able to get them from point A to point Z. So I hope you trust us with your business, and we look forward to connecting with you. Jose, any imparting words of wisdom for the tribe? Let us know what's going on.
Just don't be fearful to take action. I mean, you're going to make mistakes. There's not one person that you can point to that's been successful that's never had a failure. Failure is just another step to that success. And don't be afraid to network. You never know who that person that you're talking to can provide to you, or you can provide to them. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had that just from finding out what they do, we were able to close a deal, or I could help them close a deal with somebody else. So get out to meetups, get on Zooms if you have to, but do some type of action and reach out to me and Amanda if you need anything. We're here to help you, especially if you hear money needs. We're your guys.
For sure. Appreciate you, Jose. I love you, brother. Thank you for coming on. And
one last thing.
Let them know.
My boy got a e-store for real estate investors. I'm wearing his merch right now. Real Estate Investor Deli.
I'll post that on the links as well. And again, it's a super niched in investor merch store that I created to service us as investors and just be able to tell our stories through our gear as well. And I hope you love your support as well. Thank you.
Of course, man. You know I got you.
I know that. Thank you again, everyone. This is a wrap. Like, share, and care. And appreciate you. Another episode of Real Estate Deli. We're out of here.
Later, fellas.